Welcome to the Imaginal door. Before we begin, settle in and remember this. Imagination is not idle daydreaming. It is the workshop where your life is quietly made. Let's step inside. Loneliness is not the absence of people. It is the dream that your own being has no place to arrive. That is where this whole hour begins. Not with a text, not with a party, not with another person finally recognizing your value. Neville always drove the student back to consciousness, because consciousness is the only place where any world can be accepted as real. Before you are the person with friends, before you are the person with a partner, before you are the one whose name is spoken with warmth, you are aware of being. And whatever you attach to that bare awareness becomes the atmosphere you live from. The inner principle is simple, but it cuts deep. You do not begin by trying to get the world to make room for you. You begin by assuming that you already have an inner address, a place in consciousness where love knows where to find you, a home state, a felt location. Not "I hope they include me," not "maybe one day I will matter." The state is quieter. I am home here, I am known here, my presence belongs. The old state keeps you circling because it has trained you to look outward for proof that you exist socially. You check the phone. You read the silence. You walk into a room already apologizing in your nervous system. Most advice tells the lonely person to become more social, to try harder, to be more interesting. That may help on the surface, but if action begins from exile, it often carries the odor of exile. I have watched this again and again. People go out, smile, speak, perform, and then return home more tired because inwardly they never left the assumption of being outside. Mara had this pattern. She lived in a small apartment in Portland above a bakery that smelled like cinnamon before sunrise. Every Friday she promised herself she would go somewhere. A gallery opening, a co-workers gathering, a yoga class, but she arrived in each place as a visitor hoping customs would let her through. Then she would come home, drop her keys in the blue ceramic bowl by the door, and tell herself the same sentence: "No one really has a place for me." Here is what no one tells you about that sentence. It is an imaginal act. It is not a report. It is a residence. When no one is in the room, who do you assume you are to life? Mara's practice was not to imagine 100 friends. That would have been too theatrical. She used Neville's way, a short scene implying the end. Not the middle, not the mechanics, the end. Every night, after the lights were off and the body began to soften, she let herself return to the apartment door. She felt the cool metal key in her hand. She heard rain against the hallway window. She opened the door, and instead of entering an empty room, she heard a familiar voice from the kitchen say, "You're home. We kept dinner warm." That was the whole scene. No faces needed, no explanation, no strategy, just the sensation of being expected. The lamp was already on. A pot simmered on the stove. Someone laughed softly from the next room. Her body received the implication: I do not arrive to vacancy. I arrive to warmth. Do not force the image. Neville's work was never about straining the forehead until a picture appears. It is about feeling the reality of the state. The scene is only a doorway. The feeling is the room. Let the drowsy state help you, because the mind is less argumentative there. Enter the scene as though memory has replaced desire. You are not trying to make belonging happen. You are tasting the consciousness of the one to whom belonging is already ordinary. Before you sleep tonight, take 3 minutes. Feel yourself opening a door into a place where your presence is not questioned. Hear one sentence that implies you are expected. "You're home. We saved you a plate. I was hoping you'd come." Choose one. Loop it until it loses drama and becomes natural. Then fall asleep inside the naturalness. Belonging begins where your I am stops wandering. But once you have an inner address, you must stop spending your attention on the old emptiness. Your attention is not a flashlight. It is currency. Neville called thought the coin of heaven, and that image matters when you are lonely. A coin is not merely something you possess. It is something you spend. Every private rehearsal, every remembered slight, every silent argument with someone who did not answer, every half hour spent proving that nobody chooses you is not neutral. It is expenditure. It is an investment in a state. The inner principle here is that consciousness does not merely notice your social world. It funds it. What you consent to inwardly becomes the track your feeling travels on. When you place your attention again and again on being forgotten, you are not simply being honest about loneliness. You are paying for its continuity. This is not blame, it is responsibility. There is a difference. Blame says, "This is my fault." Responsibility says, "The coin is in my hand." The reason you remain stuck is often not because you desire belonging too much. It is because you secretly practice abandonment with religious discipline. You wake and check who did not write. You eat lunch with the memory of the group chat that went quiet. You lie down at night and scroll through other people's birthdays, weddings, dinners, inside a silent assumption. They have a life. I watch life. Most modern advice says, do not deny the facts. But Neville would push deeper. The facts you worship become the facts you keep animating. Jonas did this in Chicago. He worked in a logistics office near the river and spent lunch by the same window with a black plastic fork and a container of rice. His phone sat beside him like a judge. If it lit up, he breathed. If it stayed dark, he sank. He thought he was waiting for connection. He was really investing hour after hour in the identity of the one left out. I say this carefully because it sounds harsh until you see the freedom inside it. The coin was never stolen. He was spending it. What have you been buying all week with your private attention? The Imaginal technique is not to fight the old attention. Fighting still gives it importance. Instead, you spend a new coin. Jonas chose a small scene, not a fantasy of popularity, not a crowd chanting his name. He imagined a group text called Sunday Walk. He saw only the top of the thread. 3 names, ordinary names, Theo, Marcus, Lynn. He felt his thumb holding the phone. He heard the soft buzz against the table. One message appeared. Same time tomorrow, Jonas, you pick the coffee place. That was the entire investment. Notice the precision. The scene implies belonging without begging for it. He is not trying to convince people. He is not controlling their minds. He is occupying the state of a man whose preference is included. A man whose presence shapes the plan because he is part of the circle. In the drowsy state, he let the buzz of the phone feel real. He let his shoulders drop. He allowed the most radical part to become ordinary. They expected his reply. Here is the myth to break. You do not need to think of belonging all day with intensity. Intensity often belongs to fear. You need repeated, faithful investment. A coin placed in the right treasury. 10 seconds here, 30 seconds there. The quality is more important than the length. When the old audit begins, do not scold yourself. Say inwardly, that is not my purchase. Then spend again. Before sleep tonight, choose one object as the carrier of your fulfilled state. A phone, a coffee mug, a train ticket, a folded napkin at a familiar table. Enter a scene where that object proves you are included. Feel its texture. Let one ordinary sentence reach you. We'll see you there. Bring the book you mentioned. Your seat is by the window. Keep it small enough to believe emotionally, not logically. Small scenes pass through the gate more easily. Then during the day, when attention reaches for absence, redirect it without drama, not with denial, with authority. You are not refusing reality. You are refusing to finance exile. Spend the coin where you want to live. And after attention is invested, you must learn to enter the state where your place is already counted. You are not trying to be included. You are moving into the state where your presence is already counted. This is one of Neville's most freeing ideas when loneliness has become familiar. States already exist. You are not manufacturing a new universe by force. You are not building belonging out of nothing with desperate mental effort. You are selecting, entering, and animating a state. The state of being expected exists. The state of being remembered exists. The state of being someone's natural choice exists. You move psychologically, then life conforms in ways you do not micromanage. Underneath the desire for belonging is the desire to stop hovering at the threshold. That is the inner principle. A state is not just a mood. It is a whole arrangement of self. It has posture, reactions, assumptions, speech, timing, and expectation. The one who is expected does not scan every face for permission. She arrives differently. He waits differently. They interpret silence differently. The state has its own nervous logic. The old trap is trying to visualize people welcoming you while you remain, inwardly, the outsider watching through glass. Many people do this and then say imagination failed them. It did not fail. They never entered. They looked at the desired state as a tourist looks at a house they cannot afford. They admired belonging. They did not inhabit it. Sophia was a nurse in Brighton who had moved twice in 3 years. She had acquaintances everywhere and intimacy nowhere. She joined a pottery studio on Tuesday nights, but each week she entered as though the room had to vote again on whether she was allowed to exist there. If someone did not greet her quickly, she became stiff. If 2 people laughed nearby, she assumed she was the subject. She was surrounded by clay, wheels, cups, aprons, and warm voices, yet her occupied state was, "I am temporary." A common manifestation mistake says, "Imagine everyone loving you." That is too broad, too inflated, too easy for the mind to reject. Neville's method is implication. One little scene that would be true if the state were true. What would your body stop doing if your place were already counted? Sophia chose the studio doorway. She imagined arriving just after sunset, the glass door cool beneath her palm. Inside, the instructor, Ruth, was setting out aprons. Without surprise, Ruth called across the room, "Sophia, I put your clay at the same wheel." Same wheel. That phrase did the work. It implied continuity. It implied she had a place that did not evaporate between Tuesdays. In the imaginal scene, Sophia walked to the wheel and saw a small paper tag with her name already resting beside the tools. She touched the edge of the stool. She sat down. She felt no performance. This is how you enter a state. You do not beg the characters in imagination to approve of you. You accept the conditions of the fulfilled world. The stool is yours. The apron is waiting. The voice is casual. The room has already adjusted around your belonging. That casualness is sacred. Do not make the scene too emotional. Lonely people often want a dramatic rescue, but drama can keep the wound central. Belonging, when assumed deeply, feels almost normal. Before you sleep tonight, choose one doorway. It may be the doorway to an office, a friend's apartment, a community room, a church basement, a studio, a dinner table, or a home you have not yet seen. Stand at that doorway in imagination. Let someone inside refer to your place as already established. Your chair is over there. We started the tea. I saved your apron. You know where everything is. Then move your imaginal body into the room and sit, stand, or lean as one who belongs there. The key is not the sentence alone. The key is the shift in identity after the sentence. Let your breathing become the breathing of the expected one. Let your face soften as though no defense is needed. If the mind says, "But this is not true," answer by returning to the scene, not by argument, by occupancy. You are not debating with the old state. You are relocating. The expected one does not wait at the threshold. And when you enter the new state, the old exclusions will try to reclaim the throne. The party you were not invited to has been ruling a kingdom it never owned. Every lonely person has a scene like this. Not always a party. Sometimes it is a cafeteria table. Sometimes it is a family photo you were not in. Sometimes it is the night you saw the person you loved laughing easily with everyone but you. The scene becomes more than memory. It becomes law. You carry it into new rooms as if it has legal authority over your future. Neville's teaching on states gives you a cleaner way to understand this. A remembered event has no creative power apart from the consciousness you continue to give it. It is not alive by itself. You animate it. You return to it, feel from it, speak from it, and then wonder why the world seems to echo it. The old exclusion is not your cause. It is a dead form receiving your breath. This does not mean pain never happened. It means pain does not deserve the throne. I have no patience for spiritual advice that tells people to pretend they were not hurt. That is not mastery. That is cosmetic denial. But Neville's work asks a more exact question. After the wound occurred, did you keep wearing it as identity? Elise had one scene. A rooftop birthday in Denver, late September, string lights moving in the wind. She found out through a photo online. 12 people around a cake. 2 of them had told her they were too busy that weekend. She stared at that image until it became a doctrine. Groups always have a hidden room without me. Years later, every invitation felt suspicious. Every silence felt coded. Every laugh behind her felt like that rooftop. The myth to break is that you must analyze every old exclusion until it releases you. Sometimes analysis becomes devotion in a more intelligent costume. You do not need to keep interviewing the wound. You need to withdraw its crown. Which single scene have you been treating as the constitution of your social life? The Imaginal technique is simple and potent. Bring up the old scene, but do not enter it as the abandoned self. See it as a stage after the play has ended. The rooftop lights are still there, but no one is acting. The cake is only cake. The photograph is only paper. The scene is not glowing with destiny anymore. Say inwardly, "You are not my cause." Not angrily, like a monarch removing a false seal from a document. Then turn. This is crucial. Do not stay in the old image trying to cleanse it. Turn to a new scene that implies the crown has passed to belonging. Elise imagined a morning months later, standing in a bright kitchen with flour on her sleeve. Someone named Lee handed her a knife and said, "Cut the first slice. You always make it even." It was ordinary, domestic, warm. It implied she was not outside the celebration. She was trusted inside it. Notice the transformation. The practice did not try to make the old birthday people apologize. It did not force them to include her. It changed the self she was being. The self who lives under the government of exclusion became the self who naturally participates in shared life. That is the ethical center of this work. You are not using imagination to seize other people. You are using imagination to stop bowing to a dead state. Before you sleep tonight, choose one old scene that still claims authority. Keep it brief. Do not relive it for 10 minutes. See it like a faded set with the lights gently lowering. Say, "You are not my cause." Then immediately enter a fresh scene of belonging with one concrete action. Someone passes you a plate. Someone asks you to hold the baby while they open the door. Someone gives you the first piece of cake. Someone says, "Come help me choose the song." Let the body feel the transfer of power. Here is the subtle part. You are not trying to erase the past. You are refusing to let the past define the state from which you meet the present. That refusal is not bitterness. It is resurrection. Consciousness leaves one tomb and stands in another garden. No memory is sovereign unless you keep kneeling. And the fastest way the old memory returns is through the conversations you keep having inside. The most decisive conversations of your social life may be the ones no one else hears. Neville was severe about inner talking because he understood that speech is not limited to the mouth. You are speaking all day inwardly. You answer people who are not present. You defend yourself before imaginary judges. You explain your worth to someone who has not accused you. You replay old messages and add new injuries to them. This is not private noise. It is inner action. The principle here is that inner conversations lay tracks. They establish the premise from which life seems to move. If you inwardly speak as one who is dismissed, people do not have to do much for you to feel dismissed. A short reply becomes rejection. A busy week becomes abandonment. A neutral face becomes dislike. The world appears to confirm the conversation because you are living from the conclusion before anything happens. The reason loneliness keeps renewing itself is that many lonely people are loyal to conversations of defense. They do not simply want love. They want to win the case that they were unfairly unloved. This is understandable. The rejected self wants witnesses, but the court never closes. You keep calling people to the stand in imagination, and every night the verdict is the same. I was not chosen. That verdict may feel righteous, but it is still a cage. Nor volunteered at a small used bookstore in Bristol. Every Thursday evening she shelved poetry and made tea in a chipped green mug. The people there were kind enough, but Nor's inner world was brutal. On the bus home she imagined one volunteer saying, "She is awkward." Then she imagined herself replying perfectly. Then she imagined the manager regretting not appreciating her. By the time she reached her stop, she had lived an entire social conflict that never happened. The common myth says venting in imagination is harmless because no one else can hear it. Neville would not agree. Inner speech is creative. The question is not whether your imagined argument is justified. The question is whether it is building the state you want to inhabit. What verdict are you trying to win in the private court of your mind? The technique is controlled inner conversation, not fantasy noise, not a long screenplay, a short exchange from the fulfilled premise. Nor chose one voice, the bookstore manager Helen. In the drowsy state before sleep, Nor heard Helen at the back counter saying, "It's easy when you're here." Nor did not reply with gratitude as though surprised. That would keep her outside. She replied naturally, "I like being here." Helen answered, "We can tell." That was enough. Do you see the shift? The conversation is not about being praised extravagantly. It is about belonging becoming socially breathable. Ease, mutual recognition, a place where her presence helps the room. The inner voice is not used to manipulate Helen. It is used to occupy the self who no longer anticipates rejection. Everyone in your world reflects the assumption you are holding, but this teaching must be handled cleanly. You are not invading another. You are revising the premise from which you meet them. I have seen people sabotage this practice by making the imagined conversation too emotional. They want an apology, confession, declaration, rescue. But if the desired state is belonging, the most powerful sentence may be very plain. "We missed you last week. Save me a seat. You always know what to bring. It feels good when you're here." Plainness convinces the body. Before you sleep tonight, choose one setting where you want to feel more at home. A workplace, a friend group, a family table, a class, a neighborhood cafe. Hear one person speak to you from the assumption that you are already part of the pattern. Then hear yourself answer from calm acceptance. Do not answer as the starved one finally fed. Answer as the one for whom connection is normal. Loop the exchange slowly until your body stops bracing. During the day, catch the old internal arguments at the first line. Do not finish them. You owe no imaginary court a closing speech. Replace the trial with an exchange from the new state. This is discipline, not suppression. You are ordering the creative word within. The conversation you accept inside becomes the atmosphere you meet outside. And once the inner speech changes, you must stop asking whether you may sit down. Belonging is not begged into being, it is occupied. There is a way lonely people enter rooms that feels like asking the air for permission. They sit at the edge. They overlaugh. They offer help before they are asked. They make themselves useful so no one notices they are unsure whether they are wanted. This is not weakness. It is the old state trying to buy residence through performance. Neville's teaching gives a cleaner movement. You take the state inwardly, not by force, not by demanding anything from another person. You claim the reality of being one who has a place. In imagination, you do not stand in the doorway explaining why you deserve the chair. You sit. The seat is not stolen, it is assumed. The inner principle is occupancy. A fulfilled state has furniture, it has gestures, it has ordinary rights. The one who belongs does not need to earn every inch of space with charm. Their bag can rest on the chair. Their cup can sit on the table. Their silence does not threaten their membership. Their presence is allowed to have weight. You stay stuck when you confuse humility with self-erasure. Spiritual people do this often. They think, I should not assume too much. But Neville's assumption is not arrogance. Arrogance says, I am above others. Assumption says, I accept the state I desire as real. There is a vast difference. The state of belonging does not make you superior. It makes you available without panic. Raphael attended a language exchange in Madrid every Wednesday near Plaza de Olivide. The cafe had yellow chairs, loud cups, and a chalkboard menu no one could read from the back. He wanted friends there, but he arrived as a guest who expected expiration. If a chair was empty, he waited for someone to tell him he could take it. If conversation paused, he filled it too quickly. If people made plans, he smiled as though he did not care, then went home feeling invisible. Here is the counterintuitive insight. Over-effort can be a form of unbelief. When you perform belonging, you confess that you do not have it. Where do you still enter life, as though you need a stamp on your hand? Raphael's imaginal scene was almost embarrassingly simple. He saw the cafe table from the inside of the group, not from across the room, not from the doorway. His jacket was already on the back of the yellow chair. A half-drunk coffee sat near his notebook. Someone named Clara moved her bag and said, "That's Raphael's seat." Not dramatically, casually, the way people speak when a fact is established. He did not imagine being adored. He imagined having a seat. That is the kind of scene the subconscious can receive without spectacle. The chair carries the implication. The jacket proves continuity. The casual sentence proves social placement. In the drowsy state, Raphael felt the texture of the chair beneath his hand. He heard the scrape of ceramic cups. He felt the ease of arriving late and still being expected. Then he sat in the scene and let the body learn, "I do not hover." This practice is especially useful for anyone who wants reconciliation, friendship, community, or a deeper relational life. Do not aim the imagination like a weapon at another person's choices. Do not try to force a specific face to behave. Instead, assume the self who is naturally seated in love. Let the world, by its own bridge, arrange the corresponding forms. Before you sleep tonight, imagine one seat that represents belonging. It may be at a dinner table, on a sofa, beside someone in a car, in a meeting room, at a picnic blanket, on a church pew, or at the end of a kitchen island. Put one object of yours there. A sweater, a book, a water glass, a notebook, then hear someone refer to the seat as yours. She's sitting there. That's his spot. Leave that chair open. Enter the chair. Feel the ordinary rightness of being placed. During the day, practice physically in small ways. Sit fully in your own chair. Put both feet on the ground. Let your body stop asking the room whether it may exist. This is not a social tactic. It is inner alignment made visible. Do not beg for the chair you have already accepted within. And when the ache returns, it is not failure. It is information about the state you have slipped into. The ache is not proof you are unloved. It is the bell that tells you which state you have entered. This lesson is subtle. Most people either obey the lonely feeling or attack it. They obey it by saying, "This is the truth. I am alone. Nothing changes." They attack it by saying, "I must not feel this. I am ruining everything." Both responses keep the old state central. Neville's approach is more disciplined. Observe the state. Do not marry it. The inner principle is that reactions reveal occupancy. Your reaction to a quiet phone, a canceled plan, a couple laughing at the next table, or a weekend with no invitation tells you where you are standing in consciousness. The event itself may be small. The reaction reveals the state. One person sees a quiet Saturday and feels rest. Another sees the same Saturday and feels erased. The difference is not the calendar. The difference is the assumed self. You stay stuck when you treat every ache as a prophecy. The feeling rises and you immediately give it a future. This always happens. I will always be on the outside. I am the one people forget. In that moment, the ache has become a throne again. It is no longer a signal. It is a ruler. Leela noticed this in a supermarket in Auckland. She was holding a basket with eggs, basil, and a packet of rice noodles. Ahead of her in line, two women were laughing about dinner plans. Nothing dramatic happened. They did not look at her. They did not reject her. But the ache moved through her chest so fast it felt like fact. Her mind said, "See, everyone has someone." By the time she reached the cashier, she had entered the entire state of exile. The myth is that a painful reaction means your inner work has failed. No, a reaction is a location marker. It tells you, you are here. That is all. Do not build a church around it. What if this ache is not telling you what is true, but where you are standing? The technique is to pause and identify the state without criticism. Leela began to say inwardly, "I have entered the old outside." Not "I am outside." That wording matters. "I have entered" implies movement is possible. It separates the eternal self from the state being worn. Then she chose a counter scene so ordinary it could fit inside the supermarket line. She imagined her phone buzzing in her coat pocket. She did not even take it out. She simply knew it was a message from someone asking, "Do we still need basil for tonight?" Basil, the same basil in her basket. The scene folded belonging into the exact moment where loneliness had appeared. She felt the weight of the basket change, not physically, meaningfully. The groceries were no longer evidence of eating alone. They became part of a shared evening. She let that implication spread through the body while still standing in line. This is powerful because you are not waiting until bedtime to change states. SATS is essential, but waking life also gives you gates. Every ache is a gate if you do not panic. The moment loneliness rises, do not ask, "Why am I still feeling this?" Ask, "Which state is asking me to return?" Then move. Before you sleep tonight, rehearse the shift. Bring to mind a common trigger, a quiet phone, a weekend morning, a restaurant table for one, a holiday photo. Feel the first hint of the ache, but do not let it become autobiography. Say inwardly, "This is the old outside." Then let a new implication enter the same setting. The quiet phone is quiet because you are already seeing them later. The weekend morning is peaceful because dinner is planned. The table for one is a pause before meeting someone at the bookstore next door. Keep it precise, keep it natural. I like this practice because it makes you less afraid of your own feelings. The lonely ache stops being a monster under the bed. It becomes a signpost. You do not worship the signpost. You turn. A feeling is not your identity. It is a doorway you may decline. And after you can locate the state, you can assume a self who is not only received but needed. Neediness is not wanting people. Neediness is imagining yourself as someone with nothing to give. This is one of the hidden roots of loneliness. You may desire friendship, love, partnership, community, but inwardly you may see yourself as a burden waiting to be tolerated. Then every relationship becomes a test of whether the other person can survive your need. You try to be light, easy, low maintenance. You hide your preferences. You apologize for replying. You call it being considerate, but underneath it is the assumption, my presence costs people something. Neville taught that the only true gift you have to give is yourself. That sounds poetic until you apply it. The self you assume is the gift you bring into every room. If you assume yourself to be unwanted, you bring contraction. If you assume yourself to be valuable in a natural, unforced way, you bring ease. Not because you perform value, but because you stop withholding your being. The inner principle is mutuality. Belonging is not only being received, it is also being part of the circulation of life. Someone is glad for your eye, your humor, your calm, your memory, your way of noticing the small thing. The state of belonging includes contribution without performance. You do not earn your seat by usefulness, but the seated one naturally gives. Ben struggled with this in Seattle. He worked remotely as a UX designer and spent most evenings in an apartment with large windows and too many houseplants. When coworkers chatted after meetings, he disappeared quickly because he assumed nobody needed more of him. Then he would feel excluded from the very connections he had fled. His secret sentence was, I am extra, not special extra, excess extra, additional weight. Here is the myth to break. Loving yourself first does not mean retreating into a sealed room of self-approval. In Neville's work, self-concept changes relation. A new self implies new social circulation. The question is not, how do I make them need me? That becomes control. The question is, who am I when my presence is naturally useful, wanted, and easy to receive? In your imagined relationships, are you only waiting to be rescued, or are you also present as a gift? Ben built a scene around contribution, not applause, not promotion, not status. He imagined a coworker named Maya leaning over a shared design file after a team call and saying, "Can you look at this? Your way of seeing helps." He felt his hand on the mouse. He saw the cursor move across the screen. He felt the quiet dignity of being asked, not because he had begged for importance, but because his presence carried value. Then he answered from the fulfilled state, "Yes, send it over." Simple, no emotional collapse, no inner gasp of finally. The old self would have clung to the sentence like a life raft. The new self receives it as natural. That difference is everything. For loneliness, this kind of imaginal act is especially healing because it removes the fantasy of being merely rescued. You are not the orphan at the window waiting for a family to choose you. You are a living participant in the household of life. Your voice belongs in the room. Your taste belongs at the table. Your care belongs in the exchange. Before you sleep tonight, choose one scene where someone asks for something only your presence can naturally give. Not something grand. A friend asking, "Can you help me choose the song?" A sibling saying, "You always calm me down." A partner saying, "Read this part, I like how you hear it." A neighbor asking, "Will you come with me to the market?" Feel the request as proof that you are woven into life. Then feel yourself answering without desperation. Do not turn this into people-pleasing. The state is not, "I am useful, therefore I may stay." The state is, "I belong and my belonging expresses." Contribution is the overflow of occupancy, not the price of admission. During the day, act from this assumption in small ways. Speak one honest sentence. Offer one real preference. Send one message without apologizing for existing. Let yourself be part of the exchange. The outer act is not a technique to force results. It is the body agreeing with the inner state. You are not a burden asking for room. You are a gift learning to stand unwrapped. And when you know you have something to give, the faces around you begin to lose their power as judges. The crowd is not your judge until you appoint it. Loneliness does not only live in empty rooms. Sometimes it is strongest around people. A cafe full of voices, a class beginning, a family gathering, a train platform at rush hour. You are surrounded by human life, yet inwardly every face seems closed. That is a state, and because you are in it, you assign roles before anyone speaks. Neville's phrase that everyone is yourself pushed out is often handled crudely, as though it gives permission to control people. It does not. At its cleanest, it calls you back to the assumptions you are holding about self and other. If you meet the world as a defendant, faces become jurors. If you meet the world as unwanted, neutral people look like rejectors. If you meet the world as safely included, the same faces soften because you are no longer projecting trial onto them. The inner principle is redemption of perception. To redeem the faces around you is not to make strangers adore you. It is to stop clothing them in your old fear. You release them from the role of judge, gatekeeper, and potential abandoner. You let them become ordinary expressions of the same life, capable of warmth, ease, and welcome. You stay stuck when you call suspicion protection. You walk into a room and assume coldness so you will not be surprised. But expecting rejection is not armor in Neville's world. It is imagination used defensively. And imagination, even when defensive, remains creative. It fills the room before you enter. Amara saw this clearly at a yoga studio in Toronto. She arrived early, rolled out her mat, and pretended to check her water bottle while watching everyone else greet each other. No one was rude, but she had already assigned them the part. They are the inner circle. I am the outsider. After class, a woman smiled and asked if she had been before. Amara answered politely but briefly, then left. On the walk home, she felt rejected, yet the door had opened. Her state had refused to walk through. Here is the myth to break. Waiting for people to prove they are safe before you change your assumption keeps you dependent on the very world you are meant to reshape from within. The new assumption does not make you reckless. It makes you receptive. What role have you silently given to the people who have not even met you yet? The technique is to imagine faces redeemed before you enter the room. Do not choose one specific person and try to bend them. Choose the atmosphere of people. Amara practiced at night. She imagined walking into the studio as dawn light came through the front windows. 3 faces turned toward her, not dramatically, not with worship, just open. One person nodded with recognition. Another made space for her mat. A third smiled as if her arrival made sense. The feeling was not, they all love me. That was too much and it carried strain. The feeling was, people are safe to meet. I am safe to be met. This is a very different consciousness. It changes your face, your pace, your receptivity, your micro-reactions. You stop flinching from human contact before it happens. Before sleep tonight, bring to mind a setting where faces tense you. A classroom, an office, a cafe, a family house, a gym, a party. Let the room appear in soft detail. Then imagine 3 faces turning toward you with ease. Do not exaggerate. Let them be human. Let one small gesture imply welcome. A nod, a chair shifted, a hand raised, a smile that does not demand performance. Feel yourself staying present instead of disappearing inwardly. During waking life, use the practice gently. Before entering a room, pause for one breath and say inwardly, I release these faces from my old story. Then enter as the one who does not need to defend against imaginary rejection. This does not guarantee every person will behave perfectly. It does something more foundational. It removes your automatic agreement with exile. I have watched people become more socially magnetic not by trying to sparkle, but by no longer accusing the room in advance. The face softens, the voice drops, the eyes meet life without pleading. Redeem the faces, and the room is no longer a courtroom. And beneath even the kindest faces is the final belonging Neville pointed toward. One being wearing many names. The deepest belonging is not being chosen by the tribe. It is discovering the tribe was never separate from your own being. This is where Neville's teaching becomes more than a method for changing circumstances. It becomes mystical. Yes, you may desire friendship. Yes, you may desire reconciliation, partnership, family, community, a circle of people who know your name and hold your presence gently. Those desires are human and beautiful. But beneath them is something vaster, the longing to wake from the dream of separation. The inner principle is unity of being. Neville spoke of the one life appearing as many. The I am in you is not a private little ego trying to bargain with other egos. It is the doorway to the one consciousness. When you feel separate, abandoned outside, you are not seeing ultimate truth. You are experiencing a state of divided perception. The cure is not merely to get more people around you. The cure is to awaken to the presence that was never divided. This does not make human relationship unnecessary. It makes it cleaner. When you know belonging at the level of being, you stop asking people to become gods for you. You can love them without worshiping their response. You can desire their presence without handing them the key to your existence. You can meet another as yourself pushed out, not as an idol who must finally approve the lonely child. The old state says, I am here and love is over there. From that assumption, every person becomes a bridge you fear may collapse. Every silence feels like death. Every delay feels like exile returning. The highest myth to break is that another human being possesses your belonging. They may express it, they may mirror it, they may share it beautifully, but they do not originate it. Nadia understood this one morning on the Bangkok SkyTrain, standing near the doors as dawn spread over the city. She had been aching over a friendship that had gone distant. The train was crowded, but everyone seemed sealed in separate weather. A man with headphones, a student holding iced coffee, an elderly woman with flowers wrapped in newspaper. Nadia felt the familiar thought, everyone is separate, everyone leaves. Then she practiced differently. Not a scene first, presence first. She felt the simple fact of I am behind her own eyes, before any story, before her name. Then she looked softly at the reflections in the train window and imagined that same silent being behind every face. Different masks, one light, not sentimentality, recognition. Who would you be tonight if separation were only a state passing through the one awareness? From that recognition, she built the final imaginal scene. A low table at dawn, 3 people sitting with her, not dramatic, not perfect, just present. Someone pouring tea, someone reaching for fruit, someone saying, it's good to be together. But now the scene did not carry panic. It was an expression of unity, not a rescue from emptiness. That difference changed everything. The technique for tonight is a 2-step movement. First, become still. Feel I am without adding lonely, wanted, unwanted, chosen, rejected, single, partnered, remembered, forgotten. Just I am. Let that bare awareness be warm, spacious, alive. Then bring one person to mind, not to control them, not to pull a response from them. Simply feel the same awareness shining behind their eyes. Bring another, then another. Let the many return to one. After this, enter a simple scene of shared life. A table, a walk near water, a doorway opening, a couch with morning light across the floor. Hear one sentence that implies togetherness. Let it feel natural because, at the deepest level, togetherness is not being manufactured. It is being remembered. Before sleep tonight, do this for 5 minutes. If emotion comes, let it. If tears come, let them be water in the garden. Do not turn the practice into a demand. Let it be communion. You are not begging the world to end your loneliness. You are waking as the consciousness in which loneliness was only a temporary costume. This is the final turn from loneliness to belonging. Not noise, not pursuit, not performance. A return. The one who assumed exile now assumes home. The one who waited at the edge now recognizes the edge was imagined. The one who needed the world to prove love now becomes the place where love is accepted as fact. You were never outside. You were consciousness dreaming of distance. Now the next doorway is not another lesson. It is tonight. That's all for now. Thank you for spending this hour with the Imaginal door. Subscribe, return often, and remain faithful to the life you are quietly assuming.